Did you know that a king once died from laughing? I mean, it sounds like something out of a comedy sketch, doesn't it? But it's a true, if rather bizarre, historical fact. King Martin of Aragon, back in the 15th century, apparently met his end after a rather unfortunate combination of indigestion and uncontrollable laughter. His court jester told him a joke about a deer hanging from a tree by its tail, and the king found it so funny that he laughed himself to death. It's a strange little nugget of history, honestly. It reminds us that the past is not just a collection of dusty dates and serious battles. It is filled with human beings who were just as silly, strange, and surprising as we are today. History is packed with these odd little stories that often get missed in the big textbooks. These are the kinds of tales that truly bring history to life for me. It's not always about the grand sweep of empires or the intricate politics of a royal court. Sometimes, it's about the small, personal, and utterly human moments that connect us across the centuries. A king dying from a joke is a perfect example. It makes you stop and think about the person behind the crown. What was his sense of humor like? What was the atmosphere of his court? Suddenly, King Martin is not just a name on a family tree, he becomes a real person. This is the magic that history can offer, a peek into the lives of those who came before us, showing us their humanity in all its glorious and sometimes absurd detail. This is precisely why history documentaries can be so utterly gripping. They have the power to unearth these forgotten stories and present them to us in a way that feels immediate and real. Instead of just reading words on a page, we can see the places where these events happened. We can hear from experts who have spent their lives studying these moments. We can see actors bring historical figures to life, complete with their quirks and foibles. A good documentary can take a simple, strange fact, like a king laughing himself to death, and build an entire world around it. It can transport us back in time and make us feel like we are right there, witnessing the past unfold before our very eyes. The best history documentaries are, at their heart, brilliant pieces of storytelling. They know how to build suspense, how to create characters we care about, and how to reveal surprising twists and turns. They take the raw material of the past, letters, diaries, chronicles, and archaeological finds, and weave it into a compelling narrative that we can't help but get drawn into. They remind us that history is not a static subject, but a dynamic and ever-evolving story. And just like any good story, it has the power to entertain, to enlighten, and to make us see the world in a completely new way. It's a treasure trove of human experience, just waiting to be explored. What is it about history that captures our imagination so completely? I think it's because history is the ultimate storybook. It has everything you could ever want in a tale: heroes and villains, love and betrayal, epic battles and quiet moments of discovery. It's a drama on the grandest possible scale, played out over thousands of years. When we watch a history documentary, we are not just learning facts, we are connecting with the fundamental human experience. We are watching people grapple with the same big questions that we face today. How should we live? What is our purpose? How can we build a better world? These are timeless questions, and history shows us how people have tried to answer them throughout the ages. History documentaries act as our time machines. They allow us to travel to ancient Rome, to walk the corridors of a Tudor palace, or to witness the birth of a revolution. They offer us a window into worlds that are long gone, but continue to shape our own. This element of escapism is incredibly powerful. For an hour or two, we can leave our modern lives behind and immerse ourselves in a different time and place. We can marvel at the ingenuity of ancient engineers, feel the tension of a political crisis, or sympathize with the struggles of ordinary people living through extraordinary times. It's an intellectual adventure that is both thrilling and deeply rewarding. Moreover, history gives us a sense of perspective. In our fast-paced 24-hour news cycle world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the events of the day. Everything can seem unprecedented and chaotic. But history shows us that we have been here before. Human societies have faced plagues, wars, economic collapses, and political turmoil time and time again. By understanding how people in the past navigated these challenges, we can gain a calmer, more measured perspective on our own. We can learn from their successes and their failures. History is a vast library of case studies, and documentaries make this library accessible and engaging for everyone. Ultimately, I believe our fascination with history comes down to a fundamental human curiosity. We want to know where we came from. We are driven by a desire to understand our roots, to trace the long and winding path that has led to our present moment. History is the story of us. It's the story of our families, our communities, our nations, and our species. When we watch a documentary about the past, we are, in a way, learning about ourselves. We are discovering the incredible legacy of innovation, art, struggle, and resilience that has been passed down to us through the generations, and that is a story that will never cease to be captivating. Trying to choose the single best history documentary is a truly impossible task. It's like trying to choose the best book in a library or the best painting in a museum. The field is simply too vast, too rich, and too varied. There are so many different kinds of history, and so many different ways of telling those stories. How could you possibly compare a documentary about the secret life of a pharaoh with one about the intricacies of the Cold War, or a series about the history of art with a film about a single, decisive battle? Each one has its own unique merits, its own particular focus, and its own special way of connecting with the viewer. The sheer variety is what makes the genre so exciting. You have documentaries that are grand, sweeping epics, covering centuries of history in a multi-part series. These aim to give you the big picture, to show you the broad patterns and major turning points of an era. Then you have the opposite, the micro-histories. These are documentaries that zoom in on a single event, a single person, or even a single object, and use it as a lens to explore a wider historical world. Both approaches are valid, and both can be incredibly effective. It all depends on what kind of story the filmmakers want to tell, and what kind of journey they want to take the audience on. Furthermore, the style of documentary filmmaking itself has evolved so much over the years. Some documentaries adopt a traditional voice of God narration, where an authoritative voice guides you through the story. Others use a more personal approach, with a presenter who is actively involved in the journey of discovery, traveling to historical sites and interviewing experts along the way. We also see films that rely heavily on dramatic reconstructions, using actors to bring the past to life. And then there are those that are built entirely from archive footage, allowing the past to speak for itself. None of these styles is inherently better than another, they are simply different tools in the storyteller's toolkit. So, the idea of a single, best documentary is a bit of a red herring. The real joy lies in the diversity of what's on offer. It means there is a history documentary out there for everyone, no matter what your interests are. Are you fascinated by military strategy? There are countless films about the great wars of history. Do you love art and culture? There are series that will take you on a tour of the world's greatest masterpieces. Are you intrigued by science and technology? There are documentaries that trace the history of invention and discovery. The choice is endless, and that is a wonderful thing. It means we will never run out of new stories to discover and new worlds to explore. Before I reveal my personal favorite, it's only fair to mention a few of the absolute titans of the genre. You simply cannot talk about history documentaries without mentioning Civilization. First broadcast way back in 1969, it was a landmark series presented by the art historian Lord Kenneth Clark. It took viewers on a grand tour of Western art, architecture, and philosophy, from the fall of the Roman Empire to the early 20th century. What made it so special was its unashamedly personal and opinionated approach. Clark wasn't just presenting facts, he was building an argument about what he believed made civilization worthwhile. It was a bold, intellectual, and visually stunning series that set a new standard for what television could achieve. Then there is a series that took a completely different approach, The World at War. Made in the 1970s, this 26-part epic is still considered by many to be the definitive documentary account of the Second World War. Its power lies in its meticulous use of archive footage and its reliance on eyewitness testimony. The series features interviews with a huge range of people, from high-ranking officials to ordinary soldiers and civilians on all sides of the conflict. By letting the people who were there tell their own stories, the series achieved a level of authenticity and emotional power that is simply breathtaking. It doesn't shy away from the horror and the complexity of the war, making it a sobering but essential viewing experience. Jumping forward in time, we have series like A History of the World in 100 Objects. This was a wonderful project from the BBC and the British Museum. The premise was simple, but brilliant, to tell the story of humanity through 100 objects from the museum's collection. Each object, whether it was a simple stone tool or a sophisticated piece of technology, became a starting point for exploring a different moment in human history. It was a wonderfully creative and accessible way to approach a vast subject. It showed that history is not just found in books, but in the things that people have made, used, and left behind. It's a testament to the power of material culture to tell us who we are. Finally, we must acknowledge the films that focus on social history, the stories of ordinary people. A brilliant example is Eyes on the Prize, the American series about the civil rights movement. Like The World at War, its strength comes from its use of archive footage and first-hand accounts. It tells the story of the movement from the ground up, focusing on the courage and determination of the activists who fought for change. It's a powerful and often deeply moving series that reminds us that history is made not just by great leaders, but by the collective action of countless individuals. Each of these documentaries is a masterpiece in its own right, offering a unique and invaluable window onto the past. When we discuss the great storytellers of history on screen, two names inevitably come to the forefront: Ken Burns in America and Simon Shamma here in the UK. Both are masters of their craft, yet they have distinct styles that showcase the different ways history can be brought to life. Ken Burns is famous for his immersive, detailed, and often deeply emotional explorations of American history. His films, like the Civil War, baseball, and the Vietnam War, are epic in scale, often running for many hours. He has a signature style, of course, the slow panning and zooming across still photographs, which has been so influential it's now known simply as the Ken Burns effect. What makes a Ken Burns film so compelling is its incredible depth and its focus on human stories. He and his team are masters of research, digging up an astonishing wealth of letters, diaries, and photographs. They then weave these personal accounts together with expert commentary and a gentle, authoritative narration to create a rich and multi-layered tapestry. His films are not just about events, they are about the people who lived through them. They capture the hopes, fears, and everyday experiences of individuals caught up in the great sweep of history. This approach creates a powerful emotional connection, making vast, complex subjects feel personal and relatable. They are patient, meditative films that reward the viewer's attention. Simon Shamma, on the other hand, is a completely different kind of presenter. Where Burns is a calm, off-screen narrator, Shamma is a passionate, energetic, on-screen guide. He strides through historical landscapes, his face filled with emotion, his hands gesturing emphatically as he spins a tale. His series, such as A History of Britain and The Power of Art, are driven by his own infectious enthusiasm for the subject. He is a brilliant academic, but he wears his learning lightly. He is a storyteller first and foremost, and he uses his formidable command of language to paint vivid pictures and bring historical characters to life in all their flawed, brilliant glory. Shamma's style is more dramatic and theatrical than Burns's. He doesn't just tell you what happened, he makes you feel it. He'll find the telling detail, the scandalous anecdote, the moment of high drama, and use it to hook you into the story. His documentaries are often a whirlwind of ideas, connecting art, politics, and personal biography in exciting and unexpected ways. He shows us that history is not a dry academic subject but a passionate, messy, and thrilling human drama. While Burns draws you in with quiet intimacy, Shamma grabs you by the lapels and pulls you headfirst into the past. Both are brilliant, and both have done an immense service to popular history. After singing the praises of so many wonderful documentaries, you might be wondering which one I would choose if I absolutely had to pick a single favorite. It is a difficult choice, as I've said, but for me, there is one series that stands just a little bit taller than the rest. It's a series that I watched as a young person, and that had a profound impact on how I saw the world and the human story. My choice for the most fascinating history documentary ever made is written and presented by Jacob Bronowski. It was first broadcast in 1973, and even now, over 50 years later, its power and intelligence shine through brightly. What makes so special is its breathtaking scope and its deeply humane philosophy. It is not a history of kings and queens, or of battles and politics. Instead, it is a history of human ideas. Bronowski traces the development of science and human invention, from the earliest stone tools to the complex theories of the 20th century. He saw science not as a collection of cold, hard facts, but as the ultimate expression of human creativity and imagination. For him, the scientific endeavor was a deeply artistic one, and he made that connection brilliantly clear throughout the 13 episodes of the series. The series is structured as a personal journey. Bronowski travels the world, from the Rift Valley in Ethiopia to the island of Samos, from Easter Island to Auschwitz. In each location, he uses the landscape and its history as a starting point to explore a great leap forward in human understanding. He talks about the invention of mathematics in ancient Greece, the revolution of the telescope in Galileo's Italy, and the theory of evolution in Darwin's England. He had this wonderful, gentle, and thoughtful way of explaining complex ideas, making them accessible and exciting without ever dumbing them down. He spoke to the viewer as an equal, sharing his own sense of wonder and discovery, but is more than just a brilliant science lesson. It is a profound meditation on what it means to be human. Bronowski argues that our ascent is driven by our unique ability to imagine, to create, and to build on the knowledge of those who came before us. He celebrates human ingenuity and our endless quest for knowledge. Yet, he is also acutely aware of the dark side of that quest, the moments when knowledge has been used for dogmatic and destructive ends. This gives the series a moral depth and a timeless relevance that continues to resonate powerfully today, making it, in my humble opinion, the most fascinating documentary of them all. To truly understand why is so magnificent, you have to understand the man at its heart, Jacob Bronowski. He was a true polymath, a man of incredible intellectual breadth. He was a mathematician, a biologist, a historian of science, a poet, and a philosopher. This extraordinary range of knowledge is what allowed him to create a series that seamlessly weaves together so many different threads of human experience. He could talk about the structure of a crystal with the same passion and insight as he could about a Gothic cathedral or a poem by William Blake. He saw connections everywhere, and he had a unique gift for making his audience see them too. Bronowski's personal history also deeply informed the series. He was born in Poland to a Jewish family and moved to Britain as a child. He witnessed firsthand the rise of Nazism and the horrors of the Second World War. Several members of his family were killed in Auschwitz. This personal experience gave the series its powerful moral core. For Bronowski, the pursuit of knowledge was not just an intellectual exercise, it was a moral imperative. He believed that the only antidote to the kind of dogmatic certainty that led to Auschwitz was a commitment to tolerance, doubt, and the open-ended search for truth. This conviction radiates from every frame of the documentary. There is one moment in the series that is, for me, one of the most powerful and moving pieces of television ever made. In the episode concerning the morality of science, Bronowski stands in a pond at Auschwitz, into which the ashes of his relatives were flushed. He reaches down into the water and with quiet, dignified anger, he speaks about the perversion of knowledge. He says this is what happens when people are certain. It is an unforgettable moment, a searing indictment of intolerance and a passionate plea for human decency. It elevates the series from a brilliant history of science to a profound statement about the human condition. This is why endures. It is not just about the what and how of scientific discovery, it is about the why. It asks the big questions. What is knowledge for? What are our responsibilities as a species? How can we ensure that our cleverness is matched by our wisdom? Bronowski's genius was his ability to tackle these enormous themes with clarity, elegance, and a deep sense of humanity. He was not just a presenter, he was a guide and a teacher in the truest sense of the word. His series is a testament to the power of one person's mind and heart to illuminate the entire human story. So, why do these films, From to Ide, matter so much? They are, of course, wonderfully entertaining. There's nothing quite like settling down on the sofa and being transported to another time and place. But their value goes much deeper than simple entertainment. History documentaries are one of the most powerful tools we have for public education. They make history accessible to millions of people who might never pick up a scholarly book on the subject. They spark curiosity and can inspire a lifelong passion for learning about the past. They are a gateway to a richer understanding of the world. These documentaries also play a crucial role in shaping our collective memory. The stories we choose to tell about our past, and the way we choose to tell them, say a lot about who we are today. Documentaries help to create a shared sense of history, a common pool of stories and reference points that can help to bind communities and nations together. They remind us of our shared triumphs and our shared tragedies. By confronting the difficult and uncomfortable parts of our history, they can also help us to understand present-day injustices and work towards a better future. They are not just about the past, they are very much about the present and the future. Furthermore, history documentaries teach us critical thinking skills. A good documentary doesn't just present a single simple version of events. It shows us that history is complex and contested. It introduces us to different interpretations and encourages us to weigh the evidence for ourselves. It teaches us to be skeptical of simple narratives and to ask probing questions. Who is telling this story? What is their perspective? What evidence are they using? In an age of misinformation and fake news, these skills are more important than ever. Learning to think like a historian is a vital tool for navigating the modern world. Ultimately, history documentaries matter because they cultivate empathy. By showing us the lives of people in the past, in all their complexity, they encourage us to see the world from other points of view. We can imagine what it was like to be a soldier in the trenches, a scientist making a breakthrough discovery, or a suffragette fighting for the right to vote. This act of imagination is a profoundly humanizing one. It breaks down the barriers between us and them, between past and present. It reminds us of our common humanity, a lesson that is always worth learning and relearning. These films are not just stories. They are bridges to understanding. What's your favorite story? I have shared my personal favorite and talked about some of the other giants of the genre. But as I said at the beginning, the world of history documentaries is a vast and wonderful smorgasbord of stories. My choice is deeply personal, tied to my own experiences and interests. Your favorite might be something completely different, and that is absolutely brilliant. The best documentary is, in the end, the one that speaks to you, the one that sparks your imagination and makes you see the world in a new light, the one that makes you want to argue with the television or immediately go and read more about the topic. Perhaps you were captivated by the stunning nature footage and historical reconstructions in the BBC's Dot, which brought a prehistoric world to life in a way no one had ever seen before. Or maybe you were gripped by the political intrigue and personal drama of Gur, which used a blend of documentary and drama to tell the story of the fall of the Romanov dynasty. The choices are endless, and each one offers its own unique rewards. There is no right or wrong answer when it comes to what fascinates you. The important thing is to keep exploring. I would genuinely love to hear about the history documentaries that have captured your imagination. What is the one film or series that you always recommend to friends? What story from the past do you think deserves a wider audience? Sharing our favorites is a wonderful way to discover new gems and to start conversations about the stories that shape our understanding of the world. So please, do share your thoughts and recommendations. Let's create our own library of fascinating historical tales. The more we share, the more we all learn. And if you are new to the world of history documentaries, I hope this has given you some inspiration to dive in. There has never been a better time to explore the past. With so many streaming services and archives available, a whole universe of stories is just a few clicks away. So be curious, be adventurous, pick a topic that intrigues you, whether it's the Tudors, the Vikings, or the space race, and start your journey. I promise you the past is a far more exciting, surprising, and fascinating place than you might ever have imagined. Happy viewing.